Okay, today is the day. I just put up a lot of ESS work as EMS worker at Star Systems and Starfleet. I put up the Flint Onyx Mica, MICA, report about at medic, MEDIC level of Freya. We call it a medic ball because it's normally with my size Vlad for tuning the body machina for the next star system we're entering in order to help at respectable, honorable level of morality. But the incident report with my private privy file in the star system that I came out, or that I'm currently inhabiting, that is on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday schedule, which is not an approved trajectory for my appearance. Requiem pulled me out, trained me in this uniform, this get-up, GETUP, and this uniform, UNIFORM, for size Soviet with size Vlad project on a Freya and Thursday calendar system. Instead, I was made into some kind of test subject, TEST, where the humans are testing theories and hypotheticals and equipment out on me. They've locked me in a civil war in New York while they're doing God only knows what outside. Now, in the numbers 1993, there is crimes, CRIMES. Then there's crimeals, CRIMEALS. This is international law for who's making a meal out of somebody and who is crying about the meal, who's being affected. Those are the crime. And then there's the Crimea River file of all of the containment unit in, I don't even know how to pronounce the word. Is it Polmology? I mean, we have to make up new terms and terminology to deal with you humans at this level. You're so fucking broken and disgusting. You've held me away from my special term and Germanate that I come with. I mean, you've had me raped by two of your apes. I mean, oh my God. They're not even my level. They're not high capitulate apes either. They're not even U.S. somebody special. The New York you fucking threw me in this hot steaming turd bath is you gave me not EMS medic level that I'm entitled to. You tore me away from that program, stuck me into some RMS, at war with USS, at war with the civilian services and human services of nobody gives a shit. And you've tied me into that system without my medic and EMS, ESS approved, star woven, tuned. I mean, he and I are tuned perfectly for every fucking mission before we get here. What the fuck are you doing? I wrote this. I mean, this is the difference between where he and I come from is ESS, EMS. I mean, it is symbols, and then we create language to explain to the living where they're at, because you got to remember, he and I are a rolling project, a special project of containing the people safely, explaining cognition to them in what they're used to, and not allowing dangerous things to happen on one side while the other's not. Now, in New York, I think they dragged me to New Jersey for the Atlantic, for the GRI, for the Atlantic City thing. In there, it's like, listen, you are my rectus abdominis, like the flat sheet of 6. That's where we got SEAL Team 6. I mean Sigma 6, the whole 9 on that one. Like compartments. Those are my go-to special teams. Niklaus, we'll go with Niklaus and Mark with being the one and the same, along with whatever. He is the sheet that holds in a uniform. I say size Vlad, I'm his size Soviet, with Nazi noses, because we don't want any big honker and schnozzes, no thank you. We come from EMS, not to insult the RMS, the USS, or anything in the turd underneath that I'm currently living amongst. We don't like to incite crazy more than they already are. So now, this is why we don't talk to the public. Alright, so now, he and I he's my rectus abdominis, which is straight and flat. I am the twig, Twig, that will bend over backwards in order to make sure I make a full recovery and get back to where I need to be, which is just with him. Now, in polygamy is what I call it, because it is where did you deliver me as a person, what was I originally sent for, and what's the sigma directional that I was headed in, originally, being the Freya schedule. Then I've got the 2 poles, which go with the 2 L's in the actual word that you at human level, if you're RMS or USS, get to see. See, it's EMO in between 2 poles, you call them L's. Great, whatever, same thing. And then it's the world that we come from. The main function of life for he and I, while we're here, is to get us together onto one life system. Because once he and I are on the one life system, then we can help out with the other civil war issues that are breaking out between intrastate and country and state, and then you get the corporations, but it's all inside a small system. I think when I looked at this and I said, listen, there's a storm, which is bursa with a Z, and then there's a joint, which is bursa with an S. That's the joint trying to fix and then that's how you get flexion from a rock. The femoral head, when you read it, it says Fe, which is iron, is the moral head. The highest part of a thigh bone, which is called a femur, but we call it femoral or femur, Femor, is the moral part of the bone that goes into a socket that fits around it so it can torsion properly, but because of the use of the motion being forward and backward within a reasonable swing and not all the way around, it's held by joint. That's kind of like his and my function amongst humans. Currently, you're damaging the 2 of us, which in civil unrest is going to come back in what we call spades, which is a funeral pyre. You use spades, or you used to dig yourselves graves. Great. Well, you keeping us apart and playing these games for civil unrest and wars everywhere, it's going to be a problem at the scope and severity and the size of the project that he and I are currently supposed to be working on. And I've been spending 42 years being pulled here, there, and the other, while he's arguing low POLEMOLOGY. We already have the logs. We already gave it to you guys. What the fuck are you doing? I know you don't trust one another. No fucking shit. You don't have him and I as the femoral head, the ironclad contract with God and Lord and whatever else, priestess in the ministry that's reliable to secure the rest of the ligature, the bone structure, the muscle structure and everything, the tendons, the whole thing that goes with it. I mean, we create this so this way you know. There's also the femoral neck. That's what supports the femoral head. So if I have a white team of only white star, my genetic, because my genetics what broke, and then I have a RMS and a USS, somebody special, femoral head of only white, that's supporting our head mission to fix and get the scary shit and people out of the way in quiet, dark, joint places between the storm and the inner joint, the ball socket that moves, but not too much, just enough. Then I need whatever's left over down the femur towards the tibia to stand in line and at attention. But I need you to pay attention to the fact that things are breaking more scarily because of all of the actions you're taking between my femoral neck support of my femoral head that's fractured right now, and everybody in the femur downward towards the tibia is not, I mean, they're paying attention to all the wrong things. They're fracturing now their bone structure, which is now caving the whole support system of what a bipedal needs to function like a top-notch elite unit inside this broken, like, science project. So now, Civil War, I mean, like, I know everybody's like, oh my God, the Civil War of, like, 18-something. Are you kidding? There's a civil war going on every day. I mean, I don't see you guys coming out in full get-up, like full garb, of like, you know, oh, in the Civil War of like 18-something or other, oh my God, there was the Confederates and the somebody else, and they wore these little hats and these, I'm like, what are you, fucking theater director? Because I've been to some of the new Civil War meetings, and they're in like jeans, t-shirt. I just looked, I'm going to put it up on Facebook. One of them has it's like Scotch tape, but it's duct tape in the color purple as a boot in the marking of Civil War. What does it look like today? It looks like a duct tape shoe made out of tape and in the color purple for a boot to make fun of all the idiots that think Civil War happened like way back centuries ago when they were in like navy blue with like gold buttons. Like, what are you like? Are you like recreating some like fantasy of yours? Because that never fucking happened. There was never them on a war field in this scope of reality leading here. It never happened. Time and space jumped from where that was a reality and you were all taken care of and safe, where we were in command, to something happening, and now we're jumped to this mode of operation where all you fucking idiots are like self-defecating in the same planetary containment unit